All right. All right. All right. All right. Time to All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So we're finally live, guys. We are live. Come on in. All right. Now, that's being said, welcome everybody to the Last City Radio episode number 59. We finally made it to the big 59 on our way to 60. It's exciting times. I'm glad we're finally moving along and everyone always supporting the show like usual. I appreciate all you guys, man. It's been one hell of a ride, especially just transitioning to, doing stuff live. But for my viewers who are always on the audio and always on the go, I'm always still going to post on there and make sure you guys be able to still listen in on the show. So I appreciate you guys for always listening and doing what you do best. So thank you. So that being said, I do want to introduce my co-host as usual, Mr. Sergio. Not only the guy is a big Triple H and Triple A lover of all the games from Xbox, PC, Switch, you name it. But the guy is also funny and love comedy, and he just has a wonderful understanding of a lot of things when it comes to gaming and tech. Mr. Agent Chavis, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you guys doing today? Uh, just kind of enjoying my Saturday. Not really a lot going on. Just been playing through a couple of things in D2. Really enjoying this season. I think it's been a little bit of a different spin. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, I know a lot of people are saying this is kind of CFD's Destiny edition, right? So
Yeah.
just enjoying stuff. I've been looking at some of the. I was actually going over the show we did last weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and what was that game that that studio I can't remember. Is it
Oh, you talking about the Lost Descendant?
the yes, yes. I've
Yeah,
been looking at that stuff, and that looks really exciting.
absolutely,
Um,
man.
so
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what I got going on right now. Just kind of ready for Lightfall to come out. Kind of ready for the next big thing. I know we had a lot of fun early, or was it early in the week or was it last week? I can't
Yeah, it
remember.
was earlier this week when we did
Yeah,
Grass.
yeah, yeah. So that was fun. So yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man, having a great time, man, and that is it was outstanding, man. It just being there, just seeing your excitement, especially when we did the sparrow racing, it was hilarious. I'm glad I was able to get you and Pat in there, man. It
yeah.
was
We got a couple good clips out of that, so it was very fun.
absolutely, absolutely. So that being said, man, we got a special guest, and I gotta introduce this man in the way that he and his co-host introduce everybody on his show. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna do a real nice spin. So that being said, I want to introduce a guardian who has risen above the ashes in the Destiny community by giving great guides like his legendary video from the Whisper of the Worm guide to chilling and having epic debates with his amazing two co-hosts from the Last Word podcast. Introducing the legendary Cheetah, Ebontis himself. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just kind of hanging out. Just having a pretty chill Saturday. Just not a lot going on. Kind of just in recovery mode. So not exactly under the weather, but just kind of recovering from getting a couple shots. So yeah, just pretty chill Saturday. But no, it's been a kind of an interesting season. So ready to chat with you guys.
Awesome, man. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, man. Man, I definitely, you're one of the guys who you and E just, just being there for us and always supporting us and just inspired, man. I've always been inspired by the last word. I remember when you guys was Flashpoint at one time.
And that has been it's been a little while since we were that name. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's way back.
Yeah, man. And just from you guys just constantly saying, you know what, we're gonna continue this podcast. And I know you guys starting that podcast from since like Curse of Osiris, which was whoo, that was tough.
Yeah, I mean, definitely plenty to talk about, but I can't say I would advise it. But it's worked out so far. Can't really totally complain.
True, true, true. Yeah, and man, you guys are doing some amazing stuff in the Destiny community, and I was like, I always wanted to see just more people just grow and grow their podcast from Destiny and just transcend in the Destiny community. And you guys are one of the staples. You started small and look at you now, man. You guys are growing. People always talking. I get people always talk about, hey man, yeah, I seen the last word, with this person on that person on. I say, yeah, man, you guys are really doing big things. So salute.
Well, we try, so thank you. Yeah, it's always yeah, producing any podcast as well, is always a lot going on behind the scenes trying to
Oh yeah.
organize and get everything going. So then when things finally come together, it's nice to, finally just sit down and have a show because in the off hours you're still working. So no, I get it.
Right, right. Yeah, you're right, man. And I do want to ask you too, because I know that you've mentioned this story too on your show, about how the whole idea and the concept of the last word, what, aka the Flashpoint, started with you and Cog meeting. Tell us about that story, man.
Yeah. So it all comes down to GCX. I want to say, oh God, 2016. So I know it was at the Tampa Fairgrounds. Um, might have been the second year they did it, maybe third year. I cannot remember when it started because I know the first year it was like a whole bunch of people at a bar. And then, like, when it was a little more official, kind of like official is a relative word at that point, but they did have the Tampa Fairgrounds. Crazy hot and humid that morning, crazy line outside. And um, basically, just Cog and I were both kind of the two crazy people who brought a bunch of business cards. And there's this giant line of people outside in the heat. So we're just like walking through, talking to people, giving them to random strangers, just say, hey, check out my channel, just because, shameless self promotion. I guess that's what you're trying to do anyway. So it happens. And then just I kind of bumped into him outside a little bit. We were doing the same thing, caught up with him inside. We traded business cards because we're one of the few ones with him in there. And I know it was quiet for a little while because I mean, I would have to look up when Curse of Osiris came out. Osiris release date was December 5th of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, so in theory, if we, went to a GCX before that, it would have been middle of the summer or something. So there was just a gap, but I can't even remember exactly like who initiated the conversation, Cog or I or whatever. It could have been him. Just remembered it's like, hey, it's like I remember this guy has a lot of Destiny passion, same thing. And it ended up just like kind of saying, hey, do you want to start a podcast? We started chatting, kind of figuring it out and working through all the bumps in the road that comes with doing a podcast of figuring out, do you want to do video, just audio, lighting? Where do you want to host it? Do you want to do it on Twitch? Like all of those things come in time. But it was at GCX in just Tampa Fairgrounds, passing out business cards and just random connection of all things. And funniest thing now is now that we've got Travis on there, obviously he's from IGN Fire Team
Mm-hmm.
Chat. He was there till the end. Had him on the show and he and I were chatting a little bit off and I was like, hey, had a blast because he's got a great sense of humor.
Yes, he
And
does.
then it was just kind of the point where he was losing his podcast and I kind of joked those. I said, hey, do you still want a Destiny outlet every so often just kind of vent? Talk about Destiny, always something to talk about with this game. And he said, sure. So we kind of had him as a consistent, regular guest situation. And it just kind of stuck. But the funny thing is, he's in San Francisco. I'm in Texas. Cog's in East Coast and
Wow.
New York, New Jersey. And we're all 49ers fans.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like completely across the United States, and we all have the same football team. I don't follow baseball that much in that, but we all have the same football team, which just cracks me up. I was like, all right.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Yeah, and then we finally got to meet this year at GCX. So
I-
it's we've officially met in person. All of us have now.
That's awesome, man. And that's the cool thing, man. You guys, it's like you guys have been there, especially all just you having Travis on, and he's the new addition. You guys just bond like it just flows. That's the cool thing about that.
Yeah, that's one of those. I mean, we try and tell our, Cog and I've joked if we get a guest on, whoever it is, if they come on, I mean, because you'll ask big, you'll ask small, you never know, whole bunch
Facts.
of different ranges of guests. But whoever it is, if they come on the show, we tell them, at least Cog and I always joke with each other. It's like if we can get them on the show, they're gonna have a good time. So when everybody
Mm-hmm.
tends to finally show up, they have fun. And Travis has just been a natural addition that flows
Yeah.
because you've got another perspective. Yeah, we're both like he and I are both Titans, but we typically disagree on enough stuff anyway. We've got usually enough viewpoints that we're pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, and I do I really love the takes, especially just him being the opposition at times when it comes to certain things, whether it's PvP, which is his big thing, and it's really exciting to see that, just all of you guys together, and especially just from you guys are in different like areas in the Destiny community and gaming community in general, and just
Yep.
to see you guys come together and just have a great time. It's amazing, man. You guys really put out a lot of discussions that a lot of people are like, we I never thought of that. Different perspectives and everything like that.
Yep. Yeah,
And
we all bring something different, which has been. And yeah, couldn't have tried to make it happen any better. Just honestly, I'll take the lucky roll of the dice and be happy about it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I do want to ask you too, because you start, having the rise that you're having, especially in your channel, your Twitch, and even your YouTube, especially with your guys and everything like that. I remember when you put out that Whisper the Worm video, and you just like people loved that. That was your thing right there.
That will be the video I will be very lucky to ever catch because
Yeah.
it was the right thing at the right time. It
Yep.
was just one of those moments where you're kind of going, I don't know how this happened. I mean, the number of views that it's just like the YouTube algorithm shined on it for that day and it worked. It's one of those,
Mm-hmm.
impossible to replicate moments for me, but it's been yeah, I'm very thankful for, one of those moments as with anything, it's you got to be a little lucky in there too.
Yeah. That's most important, especially with that. And you're right, man. It's one of those things. It came at the right time. Everybody was just chilling, hoping something was gonna happen, and then boom, out of nowhere, this. And I do really miss that in the Destiny community, because it's just like, man, we haven't gotten one of those like just pop out of nowhere situations to happen in a long time. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's harder now because you've got the PC release. You've always got
Yeah.
data miners and things of that nature. So I mean, even things like the Glycon mission was kind of data mined or whatever. So it's hard for them to
Hmm.
have secrets just due to PC and farming files now. It's just a different animal that they've got to deal with. So
Right.
they are getting better about the day of patch situation and figuring out what's in there. So they try and do the best they can, but it's tough. It's tough for them
Yeah.
now. I don't envy them in a lot of different aspects of what they got to do now.
Yeah, facts. I agree with you, man. It's totally different animal. So I do want to ask you too. How did you start it? How did you even get into Destiny? What drew you in?
Uh I'm trying to remember. I mean, I've played shooters and MMOs and RPGs forever. I mean, everything from Chrono Trigger to World of Warcraft to Diablo. Like I've gone through. Sounds like a lot of Blizzard, but I mean, I was
Yeah.
playing Rainbow Six on a PC with a buddy over like dial up, and I mean, I've been playing shooters off and on forever. I'm definitely better on PC. So as soon as Destiny went PC, I have not literally touched my console for PC or for Destiny. Yeah, like day of PC, haven't touched it on console since that day. Haven't
Hey,
even
I'm
updated it.
trying to tell Philip that PC is where it's at.
Oh my God.
I was a hardcore Xbox guy, and I recently just made the jump, and I am not looking back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, now with the way next gen consoles are, you've got, depending on the TV that you've got with high refresh rates and what the consoles are capable of between PS5 and Series X, they're very capable. So, I
Hmm.
mean, if you're a controller player, there's not much, I would say, downsides to those depending on the platform. And you probably tend to avoid some of the, random stuff that happens with PC players. So you've got
Yeah.
those moments too. But I just do so much on a PC. I've been around one my whole life. So WASD and a mouse. If I try and aim, like if I play, Last of Us 2 or
Mm,
Uncharted 4 or recent ones, and then when I go to play something like Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon I'll play controller just because there's a little more going on. But if it's just like a shooter, yeah, believe me, I would much rather be on mouse and keyboard because I feel like an idiot playing something, trying to go back to controller when I never use it. So when I play Uncharted, I look like an idiot.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but for Destiny, it was just like anything. I mean, I've followed gaming for all of my life. I mean,
Mhm.
been up with like console releases and N64 and PS2, and then just whatever the next one is, and always trying to have like a good TV to go with the console. I got an Xbox 360, so then I wanted to make sure I had some type of TV that I could get
Yep.
like the 480p instead of the interlaced and all just stupid stuff. So I'm always kind of into it. I'm not as big of a Halo guy specifically. I mean, I played a
Mhm.
decent amount of PvP, but I haven't gone through, like I haven't gone through the campaigns like hardcore per se. I know people
Yeah.
have a really good attachment to those. Mine, but I played a decent amount of PvP with friends and stuff, and couch co-op, and plasma grenades are still always a good time, and the gravity
Oh
hammer.
yeah.
So I mean, you have a little bit of that, and it was enough advertising at a point. I got into the alpha, played
Hmm.
that, got to level 8 on multiple characters. Same thing with the beta, that type of thing. Did the moon weekend, and it
Nice.
was it was just kind of what I was looking for because I mean Diablo, you played looters. I played enough shooters, and the
Hmm.
MMORPG. I was like, can somebody actually put those together? And that's
True.
always the question. And they've had the best shot at it so far. There's
Yeah.
still some ups and downs to things, but they've done the best because nobody else has been the Destiny killer.
Nope. And then, as you notice, we got the last descendant type thing, and you know,
First Ascendant.
yeah, yeah, first descendant. Yeah, we got that, and I mean, it's not going to be a Destiny killer. It's going to be. It looks like a fun game. It really does look like a really great game. Look flushed out. But as we know, how trailers do sometimes, they like to make all the trailers flashy and it looks great. You
Yeah, the
know,
hype is oversold.
uh huh.
Yeah, I mean it's all in if you can execute. Of course, the trailer literally looks like Destiny and Unreal 5 because I mean it is
Right.
Unreal 5, but there's a ghost at some point. I'm like, all right, come on, like that's got to be Bungie's like, hey, can you like cease and desist with the copyright stuff here? This is a little ridiculous. I mean, they don't have a ghost trademarked or something, but yeah, the ghost. But I also am very excited to see it because I got early access to Outriders and then the World Slayer. I got to play those before they came out and kind of got
Yeah,
early access to preview them. And I wish Outriders would have had a better technical launch
yeah,
because the game in and of itself was a blast. It was like 40,
yep,
50 hours, absolute blast. And the things that they did in that game, I'm going, Bungie, it's been 8 years. What do you like?
right,
Sometimes you have to ask, like, what are you doing? I mean, the fact that you can mass delete all blues, the fact that I'm not getting a whole bunch of blues spamming me. Um,
yep,
their mod system, the way they have, mods like 3 different insane like chains and lightning storms and tornadoes and so much insanity going on screen. It's like when you go from that and then back to Destiny, Destiny feels great in shooting and always will. But
yep,
when you see the systems that other people can build in a more modern engine situation, whatever is going on, you do feel that somewhere the Bungie's like up against the wall, and they keep trying to move the wall a little bit and push it
yeah.
here and try and squeeze a little more space out of the engine that they've got. But it's showing its age at this point, and yeah, well, I'm sure we'll talk about some other stuff later.
Oh
But
yeah, no doubt.
after playing Outriders, and then it's like, but I mean, the part that worries me, or at least I have questions, is the free to play part on something like the First Descendant.
Right, right.
But depending on how, and it's also I think third person, so that'll be a question because first person's always hard to nail. But
Hmm.
we'll see. At least they're not going too realistic like the Division. I think the Division always got held back because it was too grounded in reality. So you can never do like an Oryx moment or a Savathun because
Right.
it's too real. Like you can't. So
Yeah.
but no, the First Descendant is one I'm watching very closely.
Hmm.
Definitely going to be, threw my name in the hat for betas and things. It'll definitely be one to follow because as much as we play this, it's an obvious one to stay close to.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. I really agree. When seeing it, you're like, okay, I see some Destiny references. I see a little bit of Apex reference. I see. It's like they took a lot of the the greatest aspects of all the looters that we have, and they kind of meshed them in together and made it work in their own
Yeah.
way, which is pretty cool.
And that'll be the question. Like if you say what is Path of Exile?
Mm-hmm.
Totally free to play. And my friend has had a ton of fun in that game. I mean, I think it's had some issues here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their skins are 30, $40, but if the whole game's free to play and every so often you're like, yeah, I'll support the devs, but with like a $30 skin,
Yeah.
I will be very curious how they handled that. It's
Yeah.
because we've joked on our podcast about the monetization of Destiny, and it's got some points to it.
Yeah. That's true. It's true. And yeah, and if they look at how, especially like Fortnite, we see how Fortnite does it. Um, Even though it's kind of like an oranges to apples type of game. But just seeing how they do their store and how they say, okay, hey, we got a new fresh skin, we got a new pack, you know, because of their ecosystem. People love the flashy. People look at
Mhm.
Cognito. He loves to go in the Eververse store. That's his thing, And I just hope they do it in a way where it doesn't feel like, oh well, it's okay. I'm not sure if I want to spend this amount of money on this said skin or that said skin. You have to do it in a way where it makes sense. And I feel like Destiny has gotten they've done better, but there's still some little things that they can kind of tweak when it comes to the Eververse. I
Yeah,
feel like
I mean, when we talk about the hardest thing for a lot of players is like the new player experience. What do I buy?
yeah,
What expansion do I have to buy? Then they go back and they still have to buy a Forsaken pack just to run like say Shattered Throne and Last Wish. Like you can't do the Shuro cheat checkpoint if you don't own the Forsaken pack. It just there are moments where I totally forget just because I'm so engrossed in it, and it's certain things should be free at this point,
yeah,
and then like they were still charging for Forsaken. It's been some of that stuff's a struggle because then they have Ever Restore, they have the season pass, they have the dungeon key, they have the expansion, and then it's so separated. Those are
yeah.
some of the moments where even and it's yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to
No, it's
talk
okay
the.
because it
I'm
kind
trying
of
not to talk the entire time. Sorry, I feel like I'm going on and on and
You're
on
good.
here.
You're
Hey,
good. You're
hey, you're the guest. You can speak, but I totally
absolutely.
understand because I told you earlier that I switched my platform, right? So it's not only
Uh,
have I tell Phil I'm kind of like an old light, but treat me like a new light because I
Yeah.
stepped away from the game for so long.
yeah,
But when I came back and decided, you know what, you're right. I do everything on a PC nowadays, right? So it only made sense for me to just kind of switch my personal platform to PC, and I had to buy everything over again, right? Like even like the oldest stuff like Forsaken, and even I mean it wasn't a big deal because I was able to kind of get it out of steal from Steam, but I did have to buy everything, and just like me and Phil were talking, I was like we were trying to do some of the dungeons for Witch Queen, and I'm just like, oh,
mm,
you know what, I don't have an Xbox anymore, so oops, you know. So I have to kind of start buying my content back over again. But it's not a
Mm-hmm.
big deal. But I mean, it just it happens, and maybe I'm not a big fan when because Destiny or the Bungie, your Bungie profile kind of shows you have all these DLCs, and it shows you for which platforms you have it on. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at some point in time, yeah, Forsaken's old enough; it should be free, right?
It should be. It really should be. Especially they already took the campaign out of the game. So you will only really have the activities to do. It should. This is how I would see it. But I know from a financial standpoint, I understand. They want to make money and everything like that. I would do it like this. Okay, so every time a new expansion come out, the previous old one should be free. It comes along with it separates it. From being okay, you gotta buy this one, you gotta buy this one, you gotta buy this one. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, and make sure you buy that new expansion that come out as well. You know, if you gave us a sim, especially if someone's buying like the double the deluxe edition, okay, hey, let's go ahead and make the old ones free so that way the new lights is coming in because they always get a big amount of new light that comes in every time a season comes in, a big marketing. Uh, that should be free so that way they can go in and say, okay, I can catch up, and then save the rest of the money to buy the new expansion. So that way I'll be good instead of having to spend all the way up till you get to the new expansion. I think it's a little bit, it's kind of disingenuous in a way.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem there should be like I mean, should be some as you said, if you buy the deluxe with the current expansion and the season pass, I mean, even if I don't even care if it's just a $10 tack on to get everything else that's older, make it
Mm-hmm.
simple. Not
Mm-hmm.
like this, and this, or the legendary edition, which has all the expansions, which you should probably get on sale. But if you buy it not on sale, you kind of get screwed.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it should. Yeah, it's like when Witch Queen comes out, Beyond Light itself should be free because then if you want to play Witch Queen and then keep going, you have the season pass, but you can at least experience an older campaign, catch up with the story, and you
Mm-hmm.
have something like Final Fantasy 14, which went through a very difficult start,
Yep.
but now obviously they're one of the absolute best in MMOs that people love. And it's like the guy who runs that Yoshi people massively respect. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, so no, it's just one of those so I was like, I know there's a financial aspect to it. I get
Yep.
it. But that's when you look at you've got Eververse, you've got the season pass, you got the deluxe, you need to get the key, then you get the expansion, and you're telling me the old stuff still costs me money? That's I mean, Travis has said the same thing multiple times. I'm just kind of halfway repeating his words because we've all talked about it's the old stuff needs to be free to welcome in players because already with the content vault, people are worried about that and then other
Mm-hmm.
things. So it just gets to be, they said they won't be vaulting the expansions anymore, which
That's
is
true.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good thing, but that still doesn't mean something that's 3 years old should be costing you basically anything at this point.
And it just really depends because it depends on the console you're on too. Because I do have the advantage of being on PC, and I could technically go through maybe some questionable websites and buy something at a steeply discounted price. While I have a
Yep.
lot of friends that are on console,
Yep.
PS4, PS5, Xbox, but and they're still paying full price for these expansions.
Mm-hmm.
And because of I would say maybe a recent uptick in a lot of D2 streaming, there has been a lot of new light activity that I've seen at least,
Yeah.
which is great, because I love to see the content. It's definitely been like, I was always telling Phil like I I'm kind of like it takes a lot for me to really enjoy a game, and Destiny over the last couple of months has really been making me feel that way.
Hey, mute yourself right quick. All right.
Got some
Yes.
background noise. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. We gonna get it fixed. But yeah, you were saying about the game, the
Yeah. I was just saying that, yeah, D2 has just kind of been like something that it's like I get like I recently just started streaming on Twitch, and the community and
mm-hmm.
has like responded extremely well to just the little bit of content. I hit affiliate in like 8 days. I did
Yeah.
not expect any of that to happen. And I'm just streaming content. I was playing with you a couple times and a couple of other folks that I met in the community, and it's just been like it's been good. It's been really good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. From just having new lights in, they want you want them to experience the rest of the content that everybody else already experienced previously, and it's a good sale and a good marketing for them to go ahead and say, oh, I can jump in and all I have to do is pay this set price, or everything else is like $10. Okay, I
Yeah,
can go
and
pay
I
those.
think I don't want to be like the guy that sounds like like Game Pass, right? Had, and I'll harp on this forever. Game Pass had the expansions. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
say for free because you have to pay for the membership, but for the most
Yep.
part, you didn't have to buy them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it was too coincidental when Bungie made the whole "we're going to be owned by Sony now," that things
Right.
just slowly started disappearing, and then you get the whole Call of Duty like, oh, there's only a 3-year guarantee that it's going to be available to PlayStation players, and then it's just I don't know. I don't want to call it like kids going back and forth. But like that's kind of like was I was like, I kind of took a break from Destiny because I did. You're right. I would consider myself a new light. I did play
Hmm.
D1, but I didn't do any of the expansions. I didn't do anything else besides just the main story. But as a
Hmm.
new light, having content like that for free
Yeah.
was great, right? And having to come back and pay for it, I had to suck it up. But I'm glad I did. Good. I've met some solid people in the community, so I mean it's very wholesome for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, that I think that's one of the biggest nails, especially going. And then also, you guys did touch on, just like the overall. Okay, we got cross save. I think that's something, especially if you purchase it on the one console. Why do you gotta pay it on the other consoles? If you switch, you decide. I don't really like that, man. I think it should be able to say, okay, you've already purchased these expansions on your Xbox, on Steam or whatever. You should be able to play your Xbox and still experience the expansions that you've already paid for. I don't get why they want to continue doing that. I mean, I understand it. You bought it on there, so it's from you know, that said specific place. But I don't know. I've seen other games. There's just a different they'll do the different things where, okay, we got we got cross play, cross save. You don't have to worry about paying. You can just jump right over. I really, it's kind of like in that weird situation when it
Yep.
comes to that. I,
Yep. Hopefully they'll change it at some point, but for now they seem kind of set.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
We will see.
So, Ebontis, I do want to ask you, man. The last one of the last questions before we get into the good stuff. What is your top five games of all time?
Oh God. Um, in no particular order at this point because I haven't thought about that, but I'll just give you five. Chrono Trigger is one of them for sure. Always will
Hmm.
be. I can't not actually have game of last generation for me was God of War. Just
Okay.
too many things about that between the combat, the action, the story, the graphics, the world. It was a 10. It was a masterpiece. It's not perfect, but it was a masterpiece to me, and there are a few that kind of hit that mark.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So I got Chrono Trigger, God of War. It's like it's a love-hate relationship with Destiny, so I'm not entirely sure. It is like it's a quarter of my life at this point, so it
Yeah.
feels weird not to put it in there. But
True.
in turn, it has so much of an up and down roller coaster. I never quite know if is it just like the epitome of, the ultimate of games.
Hmm.
Um, Ocarina of Time is kind of one of those like Mario 64 was very, very good. 3D
Absolutely.
Mario 120 starred that thing, absolutely loved it. But then Ocarina of Time, when I got that, I got like the big thick guide pictures. I got every heart container. I did everything in that game. And as a kid, that was one of those open world, had the horse traveling through time.
Hmm.
That one has to be on the list for me for sure.
No
So
doubt.
that's three. Trying to think. It's always so hard because like the more and more you play, the more that piles on that list as well. I mean, I probably have to put Destiny on there as four, just because I
Hmm.
feel like that has to be there. It's a quarter of my life, so one more.
Do you need a drum roll?
No, because these aren't in any particular order. I do like the sound effects though; those are fun. Um, Mario Brothers 3. Honestly, if I go farther
Okay.
back, that was one of the ones that I played. Like my first like crazy gaming session. I probably played like 9-10 hours when I was a kid, and parents were like, "You guys are still." It's one of those moments.
Yeah.
Playing through with some buddies and getting all the way to World 8 and doing all that stuff. It's just one of those classics that holds up. Super Mario World's also very good, but Mario 3 is just was one of my
Yeah.
first crazy long gaming sessions, kind of addictions, and just each one of those kind of is a step in what gaming kind of can do.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, Chrono Trigger is probably my number one though. If I have to put one at the top, that's still my number one. If I can ever get a Final Fantasy VII remake style of Chrono Trigger, I will shut Destiny down for a little while while I play that one because I would. The amount of stuff that they could do to that game would be amazing between the stories, the time, the worlds, the
Hmm.
characters. Yeah, if I could get that level of remake ever, yeah, I'll just shut the world down for a bit for me.
Oh
So
yeah, if they do a remake, I'm definitely purchasing day on day. I'll purchase the deluxe edition, whatever edition it is.
oh,
I'm
I will
definitely
be day one collectors. I don't care if they sell me a grandfather clock with that one. Doesn't matter.
purchasing.
I'll buy it.
No doubt, man. That game is a classic,
Yep.
and I. That's the thing about the Nintendo 64 and even the Super Nintendo, and they was just busting out just ultra classics, ultra bangers. I mean, just like for me, the Donkey Kong series,
Yep.
one of my all time favorite, and just it was so the way they made games back in the day, they felt ahead of their time. It's
Oh, they were so technically challenged. They were very, very creative.
yeah,
Yeah. Like the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. Have you heard how that thing got made?
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Woo!
just certain notes and stretching because they've only got so many bits and stuff to put it in. So they had to reuse it and build songs out of like each little baby segment. No, some of that stuff's
Beautiful.
crazy. Another one I forgot was honestly Mega Man 3.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
that's probably what got me into stuff like Souls and things of that nature. Just the painstaking trying to beat a game like that when you only got a
yeah.
couple lives. So yeah, that probably started there. I mean, and I've loved so many Souls games like Bloodborne, Elden Ring. Now, like it's still
Hmm.
fresh, so I can't. So I'm not like putting it in that list yet. But man, that was 110 hours of
Yeah.
that was something. Like just the moments, the vistas when
Yes.
when I got into the I cannot remember even the name of the main castle. When you see that vista for the first time of the interior of
Oh,
it, oh my
Lindell.
god,
Lindell.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Woo.
So no, and that's kind of the thing too is you get some of these games now, but I have to try and think of all of the time span of gaming. So it's
I
hard to narrow
know.
down sometimes, but yeah, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever number I got in there. So
Yeah, you're right, man. And that's the thing. I mean, like stuff like Elden Ring. I think it's probably go. It's up in the running for being Game of the Year this year, no doubt,
oh, I
no
think
doubt.
it's going to be between that and God of War. And I would have said Elden Ring would take it until I watched that recent God of War trailer, and then I was like, might have
Woo!
to might have to play that first because that looks pretty damn good.
It
I
does.
don't know if it can do it again because I had never played God of War, haven't played any of the older ones, so
Hmm.
this was my
Wait,
first God of War.
to this date or just in general?
No, I've only played the 2018. That's it. I haven't
Ah,
played any of the old ones. I haven't gone
Oh
back.
man, you are. I mean, like that
missing
one's a
out.
good one. The 2018 release is a great one, but just like the little tidbits that they have put in the previous game, even the PSP game was great as
Yeah.
well.
I was like, I
So,
basically ended up watching a video to kind of get an idea of what the story was kind of going in. So I did one
Hmm.
of the big recap videos, like 30 minutes of putting them all together. But yeah, I mean, it was even with very minimal and that's what I wanted to kind of like commend them for was even with
Hmm.
very minimal back knowledge of God of War and the history. And yeah, I watched a little bit. It wasn't required per se. Yeah, there are hints and nods and things of that nature, but they
Hmm.
made that game stand alone in such a good way that I
Hmm.
think it easily stands on its own. But yeah, throwing back to the big halfway through the game reveal that you get in case somebody's replaying it right now, like when that moment goes, I'm like, okay, this is a game changer, and everybody like the people who played before were like, oh yeah, this is even bigger. But even for me, it was still big. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of games that are pretty set like that. Like I wasn't a big Zelda fan. I mean, back in the day in 64, I had them, I played them. I didn't fall in love with them. Breath of the Wild, I fell in love with that game, you
Yes.
know. So there are definitely games like that that you can just pick up and just go from that version of the game, you know.
Hmm.
So
yep,
yeah.
totally agree.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely right. Yeah, I mean it's so many games, it's so many good games that you see in your catalog as your catalog gets big to the point where you're
Oh,
like,
dude, I
I
am
just don't
such
have
a
the
like
time.
as I've gotten older, I have kind of gone back and purchased everything that I sold as a kid because I just had to. I couldn't keep anything, right?
Oh
My
yeah.
mom and my parents would be like, "Oh, you're gonna regret this one day." I never knew what they spoke about until I was older. So now, as an adult, I hunt complete and classic games like Donkey Kong for the
There you go.
64,
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario
Yeah, it's
64. I have a
Hey, that's what I'm
that's
talking
a
bunch,
about.
solid one.
bunch of classics. Yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm into. Besides Destiny too, but so I, there's just a lot of timeless things out there.
Yeah, I was actually just looking up Chrono Trigger to see how much that one was. That one's always brutal. If
Yeah.
you can find that one, it's like
It's
it's 350
crazy.
right
It
now.
is. It is
Dang.
like a lot of the classic like games that I was wouldn't even consider just like would be it's the resale value of things now. It's almost like it's like that Chrono Trigger, right? I can almost buy a PS4 digital, all the digital versions for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
was like, I was like, I can play it other places now, so it's not required. Yeah, there are collector's versions. It's just my money is better spent other places right now.
Yeah.
I also Super Mario Legend of the Seven Stars. Either of you
That's
guys
my
ever
oh,
played?
that
game.
that's
Oh,
P's game. That's P's
That's
game.
right.
see that
Yeah.
one. I Chrono Trigger is still above that for me, but I played the living hell out of Legend of the Seven Stars, and they
Yeah.
haven't. I know Paper Mario, like I missed those, so I know those. I've heard really good things about the earlier ones, but
Mm-hmm.
no, Legend of the Seven Stars with like the bonking and the music notes and the
Yes.
tadpole guy. No, that was yeah, no, that's still an excellent one. So you got a good pick there. I can't hold that one against you. It's a good one.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing about Legend. I hope I would love. I know that
Oh
Nintendo
yeah.
got a pretty good
Oh,
relationship
put
between
that thing on Switch. I would totally rebuy it.
yes.
Everybody would.
Yes. I would love that. Man, it's such a good game, man. I would love that game, man. If they did a remake, I would definitely buy. I would buy any whether you got the deluxe collectors, I'll buy all of that. I love that game. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's that's a good one. I can't that I agree.
Y-
I haven't played that in so long because there's not
I
really a
know.
place to play it. Like I've played Chrono Trigger on PC and they kind of did the tweaks to make that version better, but I haven't touched Legend of the Seven Stars in so long.
Yeah, yeah. It's been so long. If they put it on a Switch, hey, you're gonna see me streaming it. That's for
Hey,
Yeah.
sure.
you guys are kind of having me feeling nostalgic. I have a whole Game Boy collection behind me,
Oh,
so
there you go.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I loved, and that's you was just mentioning Mega Man, and that's one of the things that
Mega Man's always a
I
timeless.
haven't seen. I don't know why they won't. I know that Mega Man really dominated the Game Boy Advance era, the DS era coming in, and I just feel like they slowed down. It's like, well, we're in this new generation, but we're not feeling it right now.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, the Mega Man for the Game Boy Advance was probably my favorite Mega Man era. Mega Man
Hmm.
Zero, bunch of that stuff. Even the stuff for the DS was really good too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's something, but man, the nostalgia. But it's time to get back to the Destiny.
Yep.
So everybody, we're finally getting deep into weeks of plunder and booty, doing our thing. Space pirates. Having a blast. Ebontis, I do want to hear from you. Like, what are you loving it so far? And so far, right now, where you kind of where you kind of feeling like as far as rating of this season versus the previous one? How you feeling?
Season of Plunder so far. The activities are decent. Because we've had ups and downs. Because last time we had Nightmare Containment, which was same thing with different bosses. We got a little
Yep.
more variety with Catch Crash.
Hmm.
Same ship kind of repeated. Once you go through, you've seen them. You don't always have the exact same run, but you kind of get the feel of if you're farming them, they tend to blend together a little bit. But we do get kind of the boss rotation there.
Hmm.
Two bosses are easy. One with trip mines is just insanely difficult for whatever reason. Um, for me, it's the story being so. We were talking about this on the podcast on mine, and if you heard that one, it was everything is almost so bite sized. It's almost too small.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
the story is like last week was a really not last week. Last season was really deep story. I mean, that was
Yeah.
emotional baggage and reconciliation and everything going on, and the implication of Callus and a lot of stuff going on there. Cool. Don't always
Mm-hmm.
expect that kind of story. But even
Mm-mm.
the Risen, it was meaty, it was short, but it was meaty.
Yep.
These are like, here's an expedition, here's a baby hideout, which are reskinned lost sectors, which is fine. I mean, it's a way to use content and, you
Right.
know, not have killer dev cycles to do that. And I get it because, I mean, we don't replay them, so there's no point in spending a whole lot of time on them. But I mean, I don't know who those people are. I don't have really a connection to who's in the hideout. It's just another name that I kill quickly. Um, and I'm just, it's like waiting for the other shoe to drop right now. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know what this is building to because it seems so small. Obviously, Mithrax
Yeah.
right now has to, at some point, we're probably going to get one of those like ink blot cinematics of what what he did in the past, which is not good, which Spider's kind of trying to tease him with, but he needs to tell Ido what he did. Something in the
Mm-hmm.
past he's not proud of, and he's got to tell her at some point. That's probably going to be one of those ink blot. Here's what my history is. Those have
Yep.
always been amazing when we get them, and I kind of hope for one of those. Ido's got these energy readers whenever you get the engrams from Spider saying, hey,
Mm-hmm.
there's this energy spike, and this week we got, a good item instead of a one energy item or a one stat item. So
Mm-hmm.
so Spider's got some weird stuff going on. Feels like he's gonna twist on us at some point and
Yep.
either pair up with Aramis or do something bad. There's the cinematic opening where you see Aramis and um Mithrax fighting in a sword fight. Like that's some point that feels like it's got to be coming because the trailer's not just for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
mean there's a lot that seems outside, but I mean we do this all the time in Destiny where it's like nothing gets finished. So I
Yep.
know some of these things have to start delivering at some point, but so far in a week 4 of 8, there's been very little development. Like the first week we had the quest set
Yep.
up like the Elixir headquarters, cool, seeing Spider, Ido, Mithrax, great. These last 3 weeks have been like bam, 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 not a whole lot. So for me, it's been, I can't judge it right now, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've been farming the activities enough and doing other things. There's not a whole lot to even speculate about right now. It's not like,
Yep.
hey, you got Aldrin and, you know, Crow going back and forth and seeing, and those were like a really quick roller coaster. It was like he's going through crazy
Mm-hmm.
reconcile, crazy reconcile, and then that one. So it was like it was kind of ups and downs, but there was just meat on the bones in those. It
Yep.
feels it's just an oddly paced one, I guess, and I won't have a clue how I can rank this thing if it comes through with bangers in the last couple, 3 episodes of the season, maybe. But right now, the episodes there's a lot of buildup, and I'm like, okay, we something's got to start happening. That's
Right.
kind of where I'm at on the story. I'm very anxious to see what comes next. Just something needs to start happening at this point, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Uh, as for rating, you asked, I have been rating couple, usually like 2 raids on Tuesdays. Lucky enough to get into a group with Witch Queen. We got it back together
Mm-hmm.
for this one. So I've been rating a decent amount there, more than I have probably this year in quite a long time. Honestly, just usually don't have a regular raid group. That's just kind of one of those things since I tend to do a lot of stuff solo and other things. I just don't typically have a regular raid group, but finally
Mm-hmm.
got lucky to find one, and
Nice.
it's been nice. King's Fall was well polished. Best way I can
Yeah.
phrase that.
Yeah.
I would say the tweaks that they made, you could take out the unstoppable champion and it'd be great. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. It's a little tweak in the beginning, but there's literally not a champion in the rest of the normal version.
Right.
So why put one there? Master is going to be loaded with them. Every
Oh
ogre
my
is going to be
god.
unstoppable. Um, you're going to have like the wizard or a knight or something that's going to be in there. And I think everybody's starting to get tired of the champions, tired of the seasonal
Yeah.
weekly model, tired of the bite-sized content. It's getting a little long in the tooth. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but also Bungie seems to just have like a way that they can put out content on a consistent basis. So I don't see massive changes coming either. We're
Right.
kind of in just like the rotation to tell the story of the Light and Dark saga for the last like year 9 and year 10 of Lightfall and Final Shape. After Final Shape, obviously some major things are going to change, mix up or otherwise. But right now it
Yeah.
feels like we are on this pretty consistent cycle of what we're getting. Some will be better, some will be worse, some will be public events, some will be rotating bosses, some will be, they're getting, but it's like, what is the 6 person? What's the 3 person? Do we get a dungeon? Do we get
Yep.
do we get an exotic mission? kind of deal. Like this time we got a raid as opposed to a dungeon, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a little less for like the smaller or solo players type, smaller groups or solo players. Then next season in season 19, no idea what that dungeon's going to be. Speculation
Nope.
would be not a clue, but we haven't seen Vex in a dungeon at all, and I feel like they're
Right.
they're due to do something.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with the story being a little. I need, I want, I don't need like an action movie. I understand a little bit of nuance in character development, but I'm like, this is you're stretching the prologue a little bit at this point for me. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of you know what you did. You know who you are. But find out next week.
I was like, we don't know and we want to know, so that'd be great.
Right, right. Yeah. I get, like I said, I definitely get that. They wanted to do a little bit more of the, okay, and we want you guys to put more into action. We wanted to make it kind of lighthearted. It's not going to be that deep like the last season. We want you to do it. You're going to get the little bits, but just focus on the activity this time. But yeah, I do want to see where they're heading with this because, especially like you were saying, we're heading towards Lightfall. Like big deal, the Avengers Infinity War type deal. And we
Yeah.
want to know, how is this going to tie into the overarching narrative? Where are we going from here? Okay, we're getting the bits and pieces, of little things. Everybody knows something, but nobody's telling. It's,
Yeah.
it's
It's like a good break season, right? Because when you look at the Lightfall trailer, I don't see any pirate ships in there. So it's definitely kind of a in between. It's kind of
Yeah.
fun. It's fun, right?
It's like the
And
filler episode and then, a syndicated show that's like
yeah, but it's a
24
good it's a good
episode.
it's a good filler though, because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, hold up. One thing that I keep telling Phil is that when we did the catch crash and we were shooting cannons, I want
hmm
to shoot a cannonball from a cannonball thing. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I'm just standing there and it's like, boom.
Yeah.
A little more interactive. I would have really appreciated it, but yes, for the most part, what's going on? We want to know what are we building up to here, and but is it a change of pace from the last season? Yes, but
Yeah.
we are kind of like uh, the mystery eludes us. What is Lightfall bringing?
Yeah.
hmm hmm
Yeah. Lightfall. It's going to be interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
brand new planet, brand new subclass, all the crazy stuff going on. But the story, Witch Queen's
It's
campaign was so good.
yeah.
They have a very high bar to aim for again, is all I'll say. Can they deliver? Definitely possible. But
Yeah.
the build up with Savathun will be hard to reach. Now, Final Shape Witness, you can see that one getting cool. But this,
hmm
again, almost Lightfall feels like the preamble to the finale.
Yeah.
It's like the penultimate episode, and then we finally get the final episode. So I don't know how they make it as, I don't know. I mean, the cliff moment in Witch Queen, I don't know what that's going to be unless it's like a Keitel and Callus moment, maybe. But it is cool that we're building this, group of
hmm
characters around us. If Savathun somehow comes back and is either on our side or somehow a weird ally with the ghost that's still that, yeah, there's a lot of questions and
hmm
just can't get here fast enough as usual.
Yeah. And I do wonder that too, because it's like at some point, Sabathun's going to have to join us, whether she like it or not, when she comes back. Because at the end of the day, they're the Hive Gardens. They're under attack by the Witness as well. Their back is against the wall,
Yep.
and it's like, where are we gonna go from here? How are we gonna tie this up in a big knot? Because last year, like you were stating with Witch Queen, we saw the implications and the ramifications of what we were doing through these seasons, and how things was really starting to build up to get to Lightfall. Oh well, Witch Queen, but now you see it in this era, and but it's you we're getting kind of side stories, but we're still getting a little bit of bits and
Yeah.
pieces. I'm wondering, can this next season, this last season, really start marketing? Okay, this is Lightfall. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
We're about to head into it. That's my concern, definitely, when it comes to this last one that we're going to get in December.
Yeah. It's that's kind of the big weight that comes with, like, say, Season of Lost was the same way. Is what is the build into? We get the advertisement of Witch Queen, obviously. So what is going to happen? Is Osiris that they mention? Is he going to wake up and have his dream that he may talk about that mentions Neomuna?
Mm-hmm.
That feels like it's probably got to take place in season 19 somewhere to have us actually go into to have a reason to go to a new planet. So I get
Have to
that.
be.
Um, but you've also got season 19 has to have that push
Yeah.
because the setup in Lost was managed to trap Savathun in a crystal.
Mm-hmm.
She's here, but she's safe from, what is her sister's name?
No, she will
Ziva.
Wrath. Yeah,
Yeah,
she will Wrath.
Ziva.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was having a way to hide, but still have her trickery where she ends up getting out and trading Osiris's body and all that crazy stuff. But that was very specifically tied to Witch Queen. So again, how do we get that very distinct tie in the story to Lightfall? And that's again what I'll be curious to see. I'm not
Right.
looking forward to Q1 of 2023 because there's about 7 million games coming out in that same
I
time frame.
know. I know.
But yeah, this is of course is always a priority. But yeah, there's way too much.
Yeah, we got and the way it's gonna be a lot of releases out there, especially during that time, and it's gonna be hard to kind of cover up everything. We're gonna be burned out before you know it. It's one of those times. I love that they're doing the whole cadence of the okay, we're gonna wait kind of half a year until we release a big expansion. February is our new September. Hey, I definitely get it, and I love that they're taking a lot of time to really
I just
get
want
these
them to
expansions
actually
good.
just delay it a little bit.
I know, just a little bit,
Just
1 week maybe.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would take about 1 month, honestly. 1 month, because I know, because I'm actually surprised because we have a 15-week season this time, so this one's the one with a
Hmm.
little bit of a stretch. And then it
Yep.
sounds like next season is gonna be. I'm trying to remember the dates now. I gotta look them up.
Is it
Um,
December 23rd?
You're sounding close. December 6th
Okay.
to Lightfall, which is gonna be February 28th. So if you do that, that's probably about another. Where do you go? 15. So you go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Mm,
Like that's a shorter season. My speculation is that's their goal,
yeah.
but I also don't know if they are going to hit it because um Shadowkeep got delayed by 1 month basically. It was like 5
Yep.
weeks or something. Then we had Beyond Light,
Hmm.
got a little longer delay, so it was like 14 months, and then Witch Queen was a 15-month cycle. So
Yeah.
they haven't hit 12 months yet. So if they're going to do 12 months now, I will be impressed, but I'm also I would expect a delay. And then
Yeah.
selfishly, I would like one. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to be crazy big. And again, they're not going to pull out a 30th anniversary. And that's kind of the thing is the 30th
Yeah.
anniversary was that saving grace for that downtime a little bit. It still was like, there wasn't a lot. There was no story, but it was a little something new to do. And they
Hmm.
may feel like they need to do that. But as you can now pre-order Lightfall without it,
Yep.
they don't have one of those in there. But I still expect a delay just because I feel like they can't rush these expansions because they are so important.
That's right.
So we will see, but yeah, my money is on a delay. And as busy as that time is, just
I know.
there's so I mean, depending on where stuff starts falling, they're going to be competing with a lot of stuff. And if you go
Hmm.
push out just a little bit farther, find that like April 1st, nothing is there.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing's
Like
there.
something I feel like's in May. I don't even know what, but February has so much stuff. Like
Hmm.
April 1, I don't know of anything. And I'm not saying anything won't get there, but right now, like Starfield's probably going to be June, stuff's in January
Yeah.
and February. Nothing. Have a little space, have a little again, that's my like personal want and hope, but yeah, it doesn't
What
probably
about
not happen.
March? What about March? You think somewhere, give us at least
I mean,
the end
yeah,
of
like if
March.
they pushed it back like even a month, that's what I said, like April 1 into March. Yeah, that gives them just that spacing to where you get out of that Q1, which is apparently in these past couple of years a crazy push, but
Hmm.
um yeah, like that I would be okay with because yeah, I'm just trying to even look because yeah, you got Forspoken and Dead Space,
Yep.
February, now you got Dead Island 2, Overwatch 2, Hogwarts Legacy. Like, I don't
Yep.
even know if I'll play that online, but I definitely know that
Oh
game looks
wow,
like
that looks good.
every time I see
Hmm.
Hogwarts Legacy, it looks like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Like that thing looks like it could be 100 hours, like an Elden Ring size game if you go through all of it. It looks nuts.
Yep.
It could
Um,
be, but that could be that could be their demise because it looks like they're putting all their eggs in one basket at
yeah,
launch.
Yeah.
At launch.
it's but I mean, if they can manage to accomplish something, it's like it's a big risk, but
Hmm.
it looks like it has been sitting in the oven long enough that it has a chance to come out decently. So you're gonna have Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, everybody of my generation grew up with Harry Potter. I just did. So it's like
Hmm.
you can have your discussion about the author. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different thing. But the
Right.
idea of just like the whole franchise, and you're like, now I can literally go live it. That's kind of cool. You got Like a
Hmm.
Dragonician, and then Destiny's sitting there at the end with Octopath Traveler 2 and stuff coming out. And then you've got, a new season of Halo, theoretically, there at
Hmm.
the start of March. But not much right there at the end of March. Not a whole lot.
That would be the
Uh,
best time to
yeah.
put that in there, man. It's too much. They're up against a lot. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, Wolong somewhere in there. I'm literally playing that demo upstairs right now. God, if you haven't touched that, please go play. If you like Souls at all, Wolong is
Oh
kind of
yeah, I love
kicking
that.
my butt, but yeah, it's like Neo 3, basically very fun. You
Ooh.
got Atomic Heart, you've got what else am I looking at? Just so much is in Q1. So yeah,
So.
if they could avoid most of that and also just that's my hunch. So I'll let that go. But I feel like they're gonna need a little extra time to polish it up because they always do. And I don't
Hmm.
hold it against them because they're not
Right.
forced to now.
Exactly. And we would love for them to kind of give it a little bit more, more time and of it, so we can play all this other stuff. You know, I'm gonna be so busy, man. With just trying to, I'm gonna have to take off a whole month, from work. Okay, I gotta play all these things. I gotta catch up. But you're right, man. It's a lot. It's a lot coming out, and that's gonna be something. But I could see them doing a delay. I really could see them doing a delay and say, okay, hey, we're gonna push it back maybe a week or two or something like that. Just to kind of get away from that, and especially if they got other stuff that they need to fix, little bugs that they may see, because they want a clean push through when it comes to launch. They want a clean launch, which clean they did pretty well, especially how
We've
fast we was able to get in there.
Yeah,
Besides,
we've had some buggy seasons though. I will say that.
yeah,
I mean, we've had glitches and disabled exotics and Iron Banner needing polish every time, and
yep,
they are they are coming out in a bit of a questionable state. And I will say, like,
hmm,
Lightfall is probably even more important because if Witch Queen's good, Lightfall's not so good. You only
yeah,
get one more after that, theoretically, until they do whatever's after that. But that Light and Dark saga can't be like up, down, and then hope for it because you got to build hype and momentum going into the final shape. You can't have a down moment. It doesn't feel like
hmm,
so. There's enough in there. We'll see.
yeah. And then last thing, I do know, what Callus being kind of the big guy in the story,
Yep.
from what it seems like from marketing.
Yeah.
We've been with this character for a long time, and even I would say more so than Sabathun.
Yeah.
If
About
they're going to
6
do it,
years.
if they're going to do it, they need. I just hope that they deliver on him and finish his story arc off. Um, really well, because we've been with him a while. We finally got a chance to get a review and see what he really looks like.
Yeah. Taking his
Uh,
bath or whatever. But yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I just hope that his story, because I love Callus. I love the voice actor. He is great at just fantastic, especially with that whole philosophical mindset that he has. It, he's amazing.
Yeah. They've done. I mean, that's the last 2 years ish. I mean, from now, but go back about 2 years. Season of the Chosen. They really, really started to find their story
Hmm.
beats. Um, and it's only been growing and building, and the stories have been good, and that's why I was like, I have faith in this season. I
Yeah.
just I was like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, or however you want the phrase to be, but I'm waiting for that next moment that's going to make a difference, because right now, not a lot's happening. It's just kind of the
Yeah.
weekly do your expedition cycle. There's these little baby bombs sitting on the helm of darkness energy. Like, they look
Mm.
like Zelda bombs, honestly. They look like the little Breath of the Wild bombs that have just
Yep.
been tarnished and hanging out for a while. And the darkness energy in there's bad and you don't want to touch it. But yeah, I need to know what's going on with those little 8 things sitting up there.
Oh, the
So
little
I'm,
relics you
yes, the
say?
relics.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
I'm
they look.
curious what the deal is. And we've got the Arison Drifter side story that's just cracking me up. So I mean, we've got some fun, entertaining stuff.
Yeah.
Just need the next beat. That's all I'm
That's
waiting
all we
on.
need. That's all we need. But yeah, man. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. So it looks like this week is definitely kicked off, guys, and we all know. How did you feel about Iron Banner? I've seen a lot of really great
I had a
reception.
blast. Straight up had a
Hmm.
blast. Like Eruption is, we need more of changes in the feel of the game. That's a
Right.
probably a poor way to phrase it, but it's the idea of momentum control, sometimes fun because it's goofy.
Yep.
Mayhem, absolute, literally mayhem by the definition.
Hmm.
Eruption is this building. They describe. I mean, it's like Arc. It's the whole W. You get enough kills, you actually. I'm like, I'm oh, crap. I'm primed. Now, granted, part of there's map design. You're on the wrong side of the map, and then you end up getting killed. There's some issues. They're working on the scoring for next time,
Hmm.
but it's the idea that you've got just a different feel to the mode, kind of the reward. The abilities were like, oh, where's my abilities? And all of a sudden they're there because people are getting
Yep.
primed. I had fun. I really, really had fun. I
It's
mean,
amazing.
I gilded my title, so I mean, I was doing enough to do that. But I mean, I'm a content creator, so I do have some time. But I mean, I was, I was, it was more frustrating in Rift. This one was just fun.
Hmm.
I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too, man. I went in there, just played it hours, and it feels good. Like it's one of those modes that feels really good. Playing in, it feels like a really great refresh. They did a really good job with the clash, and I've been saying, I was always saying, being an advocate. Hey, I missed the Destiny one where there were some times when Iron Banner come through, we had clash. There was some, and then it was control the next time. And I'm glad that they're bringing this in a fresher nuance to these modes, especially with Iron Banner. Because they didn't want. I understand they didn't want Iron Banner to be stale and just people, the engagement is not really there no more. But having the new modes and testing out different things, like I said, Rift was shaky. Yeah, it was frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, the
Um,
Mercy made it better, but yeah, it was not
yeah,
the best.
yeah, yeah. And I'm almost sure they're still gonna tweak it a little bit more and try to get it to where it's at least a little bit enjoyable. But Eruption definitely knocked it out of the park, and I loved it for sure. And I hope whatever they have planned for the next one, I would say for this, if they're gonna do a newer mode, why don't they test out that Crucible Labs? We got that Crucible Labs. We can throw it in
Oh,
there right quick. You know.
yep. They, I mean, we joke about game modes and different things, like an exotic weapon gun game, or just mess around with just broken stuff and have fun in there, and
Hmm.
just say, hey, we got a gun game in there, but everything's exotic weapons, and you start out with, you end with Black Talon, you start out with the Trespasser, and it's exotic. So you just like turn them on for a character. Now, again, that's where it's like, I wonder. I don't know how the code works. I don't know if you have to
Hmm.
actually own the exotic for you to be able to hold it. But then if you hold it, does it just give you the exotic weapon to use? Can they
Hmm.
not make that separation? That's where it's like, I would have a question for just technical people.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of stuff I would love to see. A true capture the flag. You could do a King of the Hill. You can move that
Hmm.
spot around. There's more that I would love to see, and it does feel like we're like starting the snowball down the hill of PvP again. That's been,
Hmm.
it was parked at the hill for 3 years. Now somebody like nudged it. It just needs to start picking up that momentum, and they've hired a ton of people, and hopefully that's going to help.
Yeah. I would love to see, even spectator mode. Oh, we can bet Glimmer on a team that we can watch and see, because there's some people who, they enjoy watching other people play it. And that would be cool to have the little spectator where you could bet, okay, this team is gonna win this time. This
Whoa,
team's gonna
whoa.
You know.
I can't virtually gamble and gamble in real life
Yeah, I was
too.
like,
So you,
I would honestly say Bungie would probably steer away from that. Just any type of betting and things. They got rid of the loot box kind of.
True, true.
I think again that's just me, but I feel like they would probably avoid that, especially with the
I would
connotation of
say
betting.
that I would kind of appreciate kind of an all gold everything though, right? Everything exotic, your armor's exotic,
Yeah,
loot's
just no
exotic.
Hmm.
limits. Exactly. Yeah, a no limits
I'm not
mode.
saying that competitors do it, but Fortnite does have an all gold everything,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's fun. If you're not a big Fortnite fan, but you want like, it can get interesting. And can you imagine D2 weapons like that? Come on.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that'll
you
be
could have.
fun.
Yeah, I would. There's a lot that they could do, and hopefully they have some people that are gonna be giving us some more rotations through there. Different stuff would be
Hmm.
nice.
Or like a all heavy ammo mode. Hey, you can only use heavy ammo. Heavy, heavy slot.
Oh
That's your
man,
gameplay right there.
I'd fly off the map, man. I'd be whirled
I was
minus
like,
four.
that's just Galahorns flying everywhere. Probably
Yeah.
that's what that turns into.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just glad they got newer hands on the PvP side and really trying to give us a little bit more stuff. Slowly but steady, I'm glad they, especially I was taken back when they introduced what was what's the new map from D1 that I love so much. What's it called?
Oh,
What's it called?
Cathedral of
Cathedral.
Dusk. Yep.
Yeah. I was surprised. Like I was like, "Oh, what? They brought my map back." Oh man, I was happy with that. And it was perfect timing too. We're going to bring King's Fall back and we're going to give you that PvP map from that area. Perfectly done. I really appreciate that. And just for them to really start doing a little bit more with PvP, I'm glad. I'm glad. You know, there's still a lot of stuff, a lot of bugs, of course, we know.
Oh yeah.
Things that are broken and really causing people like skill based matchmaking. That's still something that people are really still kind of going at, and some people love it, some people don't. You know, I personally skill based, I loved it. I think it's good. I think they just need to tweak a couple things with it, but I mean, I like it for what it is, and them trying something a little bit new. Especially in the casual. I know some people had an argument. Hey, control was for casuals. If you just jump in, you play the game, you have fun. It was like, oh, I don't understand why they would put it in there, but I do. I understand too as well
Well, a
why they
lot of
did.
control can also be like the last couple of games I've played has really been people really missing the objective of the game, right? So they treat like control almost like a team deathmatch. Occasionally, I can score an extra point if I go to point A, if I go to point B, if I go to
Mhm.
point C. So I could personally understand why, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm not gonna say I follow the rules all the time, but if I'm the only one playing the objective, it's kind of annoying, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I know you. You. What do you think about a skill based Ebontis? Do you kind of like it? You wanted that? You're on that side when you do
Uh,
jump in.
I will say I think I've heard the discussion from both ends. And I get, and they even mentioned it in the TWAB, that the farther out on the bell curve you go, matchmaking gets a little longer, connections can get a little worse, and those
Mhm.
things are going to be real. And I get that because it's a smaller player base. My question is to Bungie would be how loose are we working with right now? I would really be curious to know because
Mhm.
I mean, if you take it was 1,000, it was negative 1,000 to 1,000. So you take a 20-point scale just to make it simple, 1 to 20.
Mhm.
I'm probably sitting about a 10 or 11, like damn near in the middle of the bell curve, like everybody else. I'm average. Not
Mhm.
horrible. I'm not amazing. I'm okay. I don't have any issues, obviously, with skill based matchmaking because if it puts me around people near me, I'm going to have a whole bunch of people to pick from. The elite players who can go, get a 50 stomp on, you know, is, that's an elite group. That's a very small number, smaller and smaller. You
Right.
get 1%, half a percent of people you're looking for. My question to Bungie would be right now, what is their definition of loose? Because if they're
Right.
going for, if they're taking 20 through 14, the bell curve up there is still not that big. But if they
Right.
did 20 through 8, that's a massively larger group of people. Now, the 8 probably going to lose every time to the 20. And the 20
Mhm.
is still going to probably be a little more free to experiment and have some of their not every match is sweaty situation.
Mhm.
A 20 and a 2 should never see each other
No.
ever.
No.
That's my opinion. Those two do not need to be in the same lobby ever. I played trials today, literally today. In the shout out,
Mhm.
both of them were really cool. I won one round, so I was very proud of myself.
Hey.
But no, well, in this match because it was Crafty and Destiny Fun Police on the other team.
Oh my God.
So they were at 3 stack. I was 3 randos, and we jumped in. I won one round of the whole match, so it was like I managed to pull off, and I got 3 kills, and I was like, cool, that's my victory for the day. I'm good. But I'm gonna lose that match 10 times out of 10
Oh
every
yeah.
time. Now
Yeah.
trials I know is connection and card based, and so be it. That's a different story. Um, but no, it's like I mean Travis has been saying this too. It's like, and I'm gonna lean his direction on this one. Some version of skill based matchmaking should be damn near everywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
granted, population based and things like that, I get. Now, comp, I would. We've been talking about this too, so I feel like I'm just repeating. But it was like a ladder system, like make that the place where the people who can really grind and climb that ladder and
Facts.
put rewards in there and cosmetic benefits. If you don't want to put like weapons or put weapon quests where like go up X number of levels from where you land or start, and let the people get to Onyx level like Halo
Mhm.
Infinite right now, whatever they
Right.
want to call Diamond or Platinum or Ruby, who knows? Like that's the type of stuff that people in PvP want to grind, and they
Facts.
don't have it right now. And I think that's what exacerbates the rest of the issues, because then if you put skill based in here, then they're going to go run to Rumble or whatever. It's like consolidate the playlist. We've joked you could have just casual,
Mhm.
like casual fun. I don't know the proper word, just community and then competitive or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know the right words, because then you could throw it. You have so many and just be, and that's even Travis had a great one for, if you were voting on maps, what if it was map and mode? What if it's like you're going to play Rumble on this map or you're going to play Control over here? And then you're like voting on. So it's like there is so much, but I think the skill
Mhm.
based, if they consolidate like Rumble,
Yeah.
the weekly rotator, which is usually something fun, like even whether it's Clash or Showdown or whatever,
Mhm.
just put that all in one with control so everybody jumps into that one big red node at the top. Then you have a bigger pool for skill-based matchmaking.
Facts.
Widen that loose matchmaking to be at least like 10 points. I think they're trying to get it down to 6. I'm like,
Mm.
at least do 10. Give both sides of that a chunk of that, like half of that bell
Yep.
curve, and see what it does. Again, this is me just talking out of my butt. No idea what their parameters are on
Right.
their skill-based matchmaking, but that's kind of what I would be curious if I could turn the dials, that's what I would try.
Kind of like how they did the nodes in Destiny 1, where they had like the casual side right there. No, and in that they had Clash, they had
Yeah.
Control. I think I agree with you on that.
I was like, the fact that you have Rumble, you have Comp is its own thing, but you got the 6v6 rotator, you got
Yep.
Rumble, is it elimination sitting over there randomly,
Mhm.
and then here, shove all that into one, just
Yeah.
consult, like, and then like every so often you're not just always playing Control. You give the same,
Exactly.
play 3 matches and get a pinnacle, make people try different matches. Now I know not everybody loves the different ones and some are objective. Make them learn, and
Mhm.
that way if you have skill in there, and maybe it's like maybe on something that's a little more objective based, skills a little tighter.
Right.
Maybe on something like Clash Control, it's a wider spread. But they got to experiment with stuff like that, and that's unfortunately a change that wouldn't happen till Lightfall,
Yeah.
because big system directory shifting type stuff doesn't usually happen. I mean, that's the system level changes that we don't see until an expansion. But
Mhm.
I'm hoping 19 is an experiment with comp, and then in
Yeah.
Lightfall it is a big PvP shift
Mhm.
somehow, because some people say you could get rid of it out of the game. You can't. So
Nah.
they
Nah.
need some work on it, and hopefully and again, that's the thing. It's like take that extra month on Lightfall, polish it up, get that other
Mhm.
feature in there, do what you got to do. So that's where I'm at on it. I do think some skill should be in there. Outlier, like a 1 should never see a 20.
Yes.
But the bell curve, maybe give the ends of the bell curve more to play. Maybe if you're in the middle, it's tighter. But the farther you
Mhm.
get to the outside, if the game sees me as a 5, maybe I go 1 to 12. If the
Mhm.
game sees me as a 1, maybe it's 1 to 10. But maybe if I'm like a dead center 11 and there's a buttload of people in there, maybe it only goes like 8 to 13 because it
Yeah,
doesn't need to go anymore. But it's like take where you start and then set the parameter, and that's going to help the ends of that bell
exactly.
curve.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're
But
right about that.
I'm an armchair developer, so it's easier said than done.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but you're right about that, man. I definitely agree with that when it comes to, the way they implemented it. I really do think the bell curve's a little bit is way too skewed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things, man. And I even think like when it comes to comp is just not that much of an incentive to do it. Uh, I'm just thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
We
there's no reason to go in there.
it's literally we're just in there for what? What purpose? We just do it, you know?
Frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
right.
there's no rewards. That's the thing. They need to get back to rewarding in there, whether it's cosmetics, sparrows, ships. Like people will like try and do trials or trials, go flawless, try and get those ships and things like that. Get back to glowing ornaments, and I want to see comp ranks. Somebody walks around and they got their diamond one or whatever next to their
Hmm.
name in the tower, and let people, as Cog said, let people flex.
Yeah, they should be able to
Literally,
flex.
what they yeah, it's like if people can earn it, fight for it, let them flex. Is the game ever going to be
Flex.
perfectly balanced? No, it's
No.
Destiny, but let people still fight for it and flex. You'll give people a reason to go in there.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree. At the end of the day, I just hope that season 19 and Lightfall they make some drastic changes to the PvP, especially when it comes to stuff like that. I think we need more incentive. We need more things to change because I miss the days of the pinnacle weapons for
Mhm.
comp. Going in there, okay, new season, let's go. We got this new. We got Luna's Howl. We got Recluse. Let me jump in, do my thing, and at the end of the day, I can get these weapons. You know,
Oh, I
it,
mean,
it
I grinded, yeah, mountaintop. I learned how to use grenade launchers, literally, but it taught me how to use a grenade
yeah,
launcher like a breach load, and people probably hate me for it, but I'm decent with them. People like that I know that weapons frustrates people, but man, it feels so satisfying to actually get the
yep,
direct hit. And I'm like, yeah, I literally am tracking a projectile and hit you in the chest with a grenade. Yeah, that's going to be a one shot. Some people hate them if they bounce them
yep,
around corners, but like I feel I don't get those kind of shots. But if I can launch one across a map and you're sitting on a heavy point and I nail you like right in the shoulder, yeah, you're gonna die. And it's like, but I've done it enough that every so often you get one, I'm like, feels good. But yeah,
mm-hmm.
I grinded mountaintop the hard way before they even changed that quest, so I had
Facts.
plenty of time to learn.
Yeah, me too. Same thing with snipers. What a revoker.
Provoker,
Oh
yeah.
my god, bro. I literally and I was always telling guys this. I said, okay, if you want an easy sniper to use, go ahead and use that Khaled sniper because
Oh yeah,
that sniper feels so good. That one and the Alone as a God from the Leviathan.
mm,
Oh man, that dope. Man, I'm telling you, I was just snipe, 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 snipe. Boom! I was able to get up there and get it. I was like, oh man, this feels so satisfying to finally have it. I mean, it's one of those things that because they said, well, they're too overpowered and they're taking away from newer weapons that they're not getting a chance to shine because of these weapons. Okay, but at the end of the day, the hardcore grinding for those weapons. Those weapons meant something to
mhm.
all of us. You go in, you have an incentive every season to jump in comp to really grind hard in PvP. Everybody did it, and that was before trials came in. We that's where we were. We were there. We were grinding stuff, and it's not like the other players that play PvE only didn't have a chance. They had a shot at doing more nightfalls, master night grandmaster nightfalls and things like that to get those pinnacle weapons and those Gambit. They had theirs. I really think they should go back to doing something like that. Just an incentive. Comp needs it, man. Comp really needs it.
Comp needs a big influx. If they bring it back and do it right, it needs a lot of things. They
Absolutely.
can't just halfway do it. Because if you make a ladder system but you don't put any incentive to go in there, it's still gonna hurt.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, but
people will go for the grind.
I think they should start slow though with cosmetics at least
Yeah,
when
it's
it
like I
comes
mean,
to
yeah,
Hmm.
they do cosmetics, emblems, ships, shaders, shower people with cosmetics in there. Totally
Emotes,
fine with that.
ornaments, right? Like,
Yeah.
just make it fun,
Oh, what
right?
is
That stuff is fun, right?
is ornament? Is it like is it the crafting ornament? Is that what it's called? No, what's the crafting memento?
Mm-hmm.
We don't even have like mementos for some of these raids. I'm like,
No, bro.
Well,
yeah.
right, just like they have Bright does, they should have like comp exclusive currency. So it's like it's your grindiness when doing stuff in comp, you buy the stuff in the comp, make it a comp store per se, or a tab in, the Eververse store or whatever. But
I would be careful what you wish for in the world of currencies, though, because if you think about the way crafting could have gone, it's almost nightmarish. But I do get what
Yeah.
you're saying, that there needs to be a very its own path, kind of as you rank up. You can see what you're looking forward to,
Mm-hmm.
preview it. Totally, yeah, like no, almost kind of a separate store, but basically you go into comp, look at the rewards, where your rankings at, what are you going for. Totally on board with that. Absolutely. I just don't know if I need one more currency because I'm running out of space. There's too many.
It's too many, man. It's too many. You're right. You're right. Just to be able to see, okay, the progression of things. Okay, we're getting close to that. Just like as much as I love the change that they did when it came to just like Saint 14. Okay, at least I know I'm moving towards. Okay, I know what's out. This. Oh, I like this adept weapon. This week. Okay, let's go for it. I think comp. If you're not going to put a pinnacle weapons and other things in there, at least do something like put a adept specific weapon like they do trials and comp. Oh, hey, this comp players, you can get a chance to get this weapon. You get an adept Redrix. We brought that back. Different things. There's ways that they can do this where they fix how they do things. If you're gonna do ladder, then you're gonna need to change certain things,
Yeah,
certain
but
aspects.
P, do you think that at this point comp should just be sunset since they have trials already?
I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't want them to be. I wouldn't want it to be sunset because people still love to go in there to grind their glory and get their thing and their title and everything. It just need a rework. It really needs a rework
Yep.
right now. That that's most important when it comes to comp because there's no reason to go in there. You find more things to do in control. you
Yeah.
know, and it's sad, but it's one of those things like the Gambit problem. Gambit hasn't been the same since when back in season of the Drifter and all that. You know, it's there's no new love for it right now. There's no new maps. There's still certain things that they try to do a little bit of things, but we haven't. We need a whole new loophole of guns. We need updated things. Um, right now it's just Gambit is just I could just get in there and do a little something, maybe get that new LMG, but you can get it from anywhere else. But it's just like there's no incentive to go to Gambit like it used to be back in the
Yeah.
day.
Not much. Yeah. You'll get
Yeah.
yesteryears, like, and you'll get some of those, but the perk pools are always so big. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I listened to them talk to, I think it was Firing Range, talk to Chris Proctor, and they said,
Yeah.
some of those are going to be really accessible, like out of bounds right now. Everybody's seeing it everywhere for Crucible, but it's got a massive perk pool, so it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
hard to really get the one you want, but you're going to see a lot of them. So they have, some toss ups there.
Mm-hmm. But just imagine, Ebontis, they say, "Hey, what was your favorite? What was that favorite pulse rifle that you used to use back in
Oh,
the
go
day?"
figure. Absolutely.
Imagine if they bring back Go Figure, right? Oh, we updated the purple and we got an origin trait for it. You're gonna jump in and go get it,
Oh, I absolutely will go wherever that. Yeah, I will go for that again. Now, right now, I have Insidious, which is that similar
right?
frame, and I'm loving it. So I'm at least I have something like that. But yeah, if Go Figure comes back because a kinetic 4 bursts,
Oh my
it's
god.
still my baby. Yeah, I was like, no, you give me a Go Figure again. That's one of the That's about the only reissue I want. Granted, I got like 2 God rolls, and I'm like,
Yeah,
if they bring it back, make it craftable. Because God, I don't want to go for. I
yeah.
don't want to farm for it.
Facts. Yeah, I would love to have a night watch brought back.
Oh, I want the
Updated.
armory weapons.
Yeah, man. I would love to have Blast Furnace back.
Mm,
you know,
that's the better version basically. But yes, I
facts.
would. Yep, yeah. Any of those, yeah, because you got Kindled Orchid with the double perks, which they'd probably switch it up. But I mean, yeah, they've still got plenty of stuff that they'll probably work on reissuing since
Mm-hmm.
they did that. But yeah, I'll be curious as we keep getting more and more stuff, more craftables and
Mm-hmm.
things. What I care about wanting back, and then what I don't care as much about.
Exactly, exactly. I would even be fine if they did something with, 81. I know she does the transmog thing, and but I would love it if they would say, "Oh, okay, we're gonna do a rotating pool, with 81. We're gonna bring back the forge weapons. We're gonna bring back those, and each week you can jump in and you can get one of her engrams or whatever if you prestige, do something like that where you can get a chance to get a red border blast furnace. You can craft them, something like that along those lines. Do something, put it in the whirlpool, whatever they want to do, update and bring them back. I think that would be really good.
Oh, so many
You know,
red borders right now, man.
I know, man.
Yep.
If you guys are new to Destiny and you don't know how to take care of your red borders quick, there's an easy way. All you got to do is dismantle them, and that way it'll count as your progression. For those new Destiny new lights out here that don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you're right, man. It's one of those things, man. Everybody's griping about it, especially in the PvP community. It just need to be meaningful. But yeah. So it seems like people are starting to talk about said Fall Guys. The little Blunder
Nope.
Dome.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's one of those things where it's like I'm glad that they're doing this and they're branching out. And what's funny is more people are talking Destiny. Like now, I can walk. I work at a fitness gym, and I even hear guys, "Hey man, you play Destiny?" Da, da." Like so many people play Destiny, and for them to do this partnership type thing, having Epic on the team, it just exposes the game even more. More people are talking Destiny. Oh man, I'm having a blast with the Fortnite pack, with the Destiny pack. I'm having a blast in Fall Guys. I love my little skin, my little Guardian, my little Titan. You know, it's amazing. Them doing this and really exposing themselves and bringing us out. Hey, look, we're here. We're Bungie. We're Destiny. Come play with us, man. Let's partnership. Let's do something. Amazing. I'm loving what they're doing, and for them to do something like this, absolutely cool. And it just exposes it just adds more to us with new lights and all these other things that they're doing. It's great, man. More people coming to the game.
Yeah.
Awesome. You know, and that's the funny thing. It's funny. I never thought that just as we're ending the first saga, you're getting a boatload of people that's just, it's like, man, I wish you would have seen the whole journey, but hey, at
Yeah.
least, you're here now. It's definitely amazing. And for a lot of new lights, really their saga is going to be the next saga for them, who's coming in. That's truly going to be kind of like their Destiny 1, cadence for them,
Yep.
you know. It's definitely interesting. But we got Master Raids, man, coming back. How you feeling about Master King's Fall?
It's not, in my opinion, it's not worth it. Just
Yeah.
that's me personally. I mean, it seems like the craftable weapons are still going to get you 99.5% of the way there.
Yeah.
You still got to fight RNG to try and get you a god roll of an adept weapon. I
Hmm.
don't know if adepts can drop with enhanced perks. We will have to see if they made a change or not, but I kind of doubt they will.
Yeah.
Um, and then the way the armor works, if it's a week where the stats say mobility, and I'm a Titan, I could pretty much care less about mobility. So then, if I'm getting armor drops that are heavy in mobility, and then I'm getting weapons, and it's just more of a pain when we can get a normal run. Like, yeah, we'll have a few bumps in the road, but I can knock out King's Fall in an hour, or I can fight through a hard mode for. And that's just where I'm at. It's like I know there are people who want to challenge more, but it's just they're gonna jam pack it full of champions. That's my
Yeah.
guess is what's gonna happen. And then it's 1600, so we're back to the whole why is this not contest? I mean,
Right.
that's I think, and a
That's
lot
what
of
I'm
people keep
saying.
saying it. It's like everyone right now is like contest King's Fall. We got through War Priest.
Yep.
we got through War Priest, and when we did that, it had to be polished. We were using Aeons for heavy ammo. That's a different discussion anyway. But yeah, it's like I should not be depending on one exotic for ammo. But that
Right.
aside, when it did flow, like it was a well-oiled machine. We used all 4 damage phases. But if you did contest and you were guaranteed like some red bars and stuff, people would be doing it and learning to feel. And that why we get it one time
Yeah.
as opposed to shove hard mode full of champions, make it 1600, and then how much bounty farming do you want to do? It's kind of the same idea where I'm at on Grandmasters is Grandmaster have this like they have a cap, but you have to get to that cap, and then anything
Yeah.
above it doesn't matter, which is so weird. Like that cap could be 1500. It doesn't matter. Like it just make Grandmasters contest, but every season they keep bumping it up just a little so you can grind it
Hmm.
all out and engage again just to play something you can play last season.
Yeah.
These are some of the changes where I'm kind of getting tired of the leveling system, whether it be that or just like or use contest because that's kind of what you're half the time doing with
Hmm.
day one raids and stuff. So
Facts.
no, I don't want to be Debbie Downer on it, but I'm just not excited about it because for me, I would much rather spend chill time, fun group of people, knocking out, a couple raids on a Tuesday in normal mode difficulty, not bashing my head against the wall,
Hmm.
not feeling like it's like I gotta play like crazy and
Right.
and I can play a lot and I still, in theory could get it done, but I'm also it just doesn't so
Right.
sorry, what about you guys since I seem to be pissing on the parade?
Well, you want to go, Serge?
I was just gonna say, as a new light, Phil attempted to take me and my young fire team into King's Fall, and
Hmm.
we were there for quite some time.
Yeah.
So if there is a master level of this going on, it's not for me at the moment. So
Yeah.
you know, while I did enjoy the time, I think we spent like 6 hours trying to.
Yeah.
It was quite. It was hilarious. If we would have recorded it, it would have been extremely comedic, right?
Which one
So
were you guys
We
we
were
got,
doing contests.
yeah,
Yeah. They
well, I was
won.
saying like which encounter did you guys get to?
We was at Totems, I believe.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
at the totems.
Totems was man when that came together for us. It felt like the fluke where it's like that one time like somebody with a lot's like standing on the plate, standing in a bubble, and like can get there. Believe me, I was like there. If that one wouldn't have happened, we could have still been on Totem. So it was no, yeah,
It
Yeah.
it's
definitely took us a little bit to get kind of a cadence going
Yeah.
because we had so many uh, different styles of gameplay,
Hmm.
right? So cohesively trying to come together as a team was difficult.
Yeah.
Hilarious, but difficult.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think around 5:30 and like my eighth monster, everyone started working together very well, but
Yep.
I forgot I had to work the next day, or in like probably within the next hour I had to get ready for work. But it if there's any type of master level to where I'm gonna bang my head against a wall, check with me later.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's everybody's been saying it, and I've been saying it too. Contest modifier should be on it. If you're gonna do a master, just put it on there. Nobody
mm,
have to worry about, oh, I gotta get to 16 this or that, or just put a contest, boom boom. It don't matter about the artifact. Do your thing and see how well you best in there. And same thing with the reward system. Again, adepts. I hope that we can have it enhanced. You can enhance them, but I don't know. I don't think so. But you know, why would you waste your time doing master having to, okay, somebody's 1580, he's gonna have a hard time. We can't really utilize him until you can get up to at least his 90s, just so he can be comfortable in there. It just doesn't make sense. Same thing with grandmasters. There shouldn't be level scaling. Now we got to get to 1620. That is a lot. That's a lot of power just to get to it. Some people, they're not able to do it because work situations, whatever they got going on. Then by the time they finally get to it, oh, what do you know? The next season is in. It's like,
yep.
just put contest mod on it, try it. even if you want to test it out and say, okay, we're gonna do kind of like a labs type thing. We're gonna do one where grandmasters will be contest modifiers, see how people best it. People be fine, and I guarantee you're gonna have a lot of people that wants to go in there and start doing it because there's a lot of people who don't do grandmasters.
Mm-hmm. I
You
mean,
got
there's the point where, yeah, I was like, what are we gonna have to hit this time? We're probably gonna have to hit 1595, and I'm probably about there because I'm like 15 on my artifact, and I'm 1579 and 5/8. I'm literally looking at my character, so I'm like, I'm damn near there. So I'm
hmm
close, but it's not. It's like when you get there, it doesn't matter. Like,
yep.
so just make it 1570. Yeah, no, yeah, it seems like an unnecessary grind, and it's like an odd way
Right.
to gatekeep more content that more people could play if they could
hmm
just access it. Now, are you going to be as awesome at Grandmasters if you jump in as just like I just logged in at 1570? Probably not. You're going to get your ass kicked a little bit,
Yeah.
but you could still, like, when you get later in the season, as you said, if you've just been busy with work, you could still try it.
hmm
So,
Yeah.
mm,
And I get that they want to make it hard. They want harder content. We all understand. We love that. We're the hardcore, but you still need to make it where anybody can jump in and try it.
yep.
Whether they succeed or not, that's based off of what their skill or prowess is. But other than that, it should be just, hey, I can jump in tonight. Okay, let me go do this Grandmaster Nightfall, see if we can beat it tonight. It's still gonna be hard. It's not gonna be something you can fly through it. It's still gonna be hard. You don't need the scaling. You
Mhm.
don't need that. You really don't.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. And like I said, they've been trying to, especially with grandmasters and stuff like that, trying to do a little bit of things with the reward system and stuff like that, here and there. But at the end of the day, when it comes to master, you're gonna bang your head against the wall trying to at least get and hope your RNG is good enough where you can get an adept weapon.
Yep.
Then the challenges happen to do that while you're getting destroyed by champions and everything like that. It's just not
Yeah.
needed, man.
Yep.
It's not needed.
I will watch the other streams on Tuesday while I do my normal ones.
Yeah, yeah, man. Me too, man. Cause I'm not looking forward to it. I wish that wasn't the case, but hey, you know how it goes, man. But so yeah, of course there's a lot of patches this week, and you guys you definitely want to check out the patches this week. They got a lot of things that they're looking at. Of course, as it look like some of the frame rates. They're refreshing the frame rates for Xbox Series X and PS5, of course. The option is missing right now, which is weird. But like we were stating earlier, there is just a lot of things that the game, especially when a season launch, stuff tend to get broken, and you know people having a hard time logging in, or the game crashing randomly at night while everyone's trying to do something. You remember what happened today about this?
Oh yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I was in a raid, and boom, we're almost about to kill the war priest. Oh, wait a second, now the game is offline. I cannot believe this. It's things like that, and like I said, working with that old engine, they're good. I'm sure that they're gonna probably try to get rid of it after final shape and do something different. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be be a very different game than I would imagine.
Mm,
I don't even know what's gonna happen between now and then. There's a lot to do.
yeah, and I think probably what they're gonna end up doing is, like they did with Rise of Iron. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and drop the old gen. That way, we'll be able to focus on a newer engine with all the updated gens, and just go and do different things and be able to really show the prowess of what Destiny really can accomplish and be, letting go of that old engine, because this old engine, man, it's got to go. We're in the next gen. We got so many different things. So that can flush out games, make it better, feel better, you know, not have to stress over, okay, I gotta patch this, patch that, patch this, patches easier and things of like that of that nature. It's time. It's definitely time,
Yep.
for sure. But that being said, man, I appreciate you joining, man, Ebontis, man, on the show. Definitely a goat for sure in the community, without a doubt. You know,
Well,
uh,
I appreciate that. Not sure I live up to that, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
yeah, absolutely. And man, I definitely would love to have as my dream project. I would love to have a last word, last city radio type of a crossover show at some point. Definitely, especially with bigger content happening. So certain things that would be awesome. It'd be great. We definitely got to you got to get that little doozy out with Cog and the rest of them. But I definitely appreciate it. And what we always do at the end of a show, we always say, the floor is yours. And it's basically just we're all saying, oh, what we got going on, whatever we're doing. So, with that being said, the floor is yours, Ebontis. What do you have going on this week? What's going on, and how can they find you?
So for finding me, it's Ebontis everywhere. It's basically Ebontis. If you find the cheetah, you basically found me, whether it's Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Those are my main three that I tend to interact with because that seems to be a lot for just me. Tuesday streams are typically raids, depending on what's going on. Iron Banner, when that one's going. But yeah, a lot of it is just watch the YouTube content. That's where a lot of it'll be. And if you want to see what I'm doing, tweeting, liking, or otherwise, you can find me on Twitter. But yeah, it's just Ebontis on any of those three platforms, and you will see what I'm up to. But just usually working on guides and my steering, the average player hopefully through some Destiny content that they might not have done otherwise.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And also,
And then, of course,
Sergio.
sorry, the podcast.
Oh yeah, the last word, man.
Last
Definitely
word
check
Thursday
out.
night, 7 p.m. Yep, that's our Destiny podcast. So it's live on the YouTube channel. So if you subscribe there, you'll find it.
Absolutely, no doubt, no doubt. And Sergio, what's going on, man? What you got going on, man? And how can they find you out here?
Hey, so you can find me at Agent Chavez underscore at Twitter. And I am trying to align all my platforms, so that will soon be kind of what I my handle is everywhere. Um, just working on kind of this content creation thing that I really honestly started for fun, and I'm not going to say it's taken off, but it's definitely
Hmm.
surprisingly done more than I expected, right? So, like I said, I hit affiliate in 8 days from support of the D2 community and friends, and tweeting and just posting clips and videos that seem to gather some type of attention that people like. So I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm working on. I've kind of taken kind of a little break from streaming because I'm not gonna say I overdid it, but I think I put in like 70 hours. Uh, and I was like, I'm gonna go super hard the first week, and then my headset broke, my microphone broke. I'm waiting on a new boom arm, so I kind of overdid it. It's like I almost like went into battle and then came out bruised up, but definitely still in one piece. So yeah, I will definitely be back probably in the next week once my new arm comes in, and still playing. And you know what? Honestly, I've been doing a lot of helping those that ask for it in the community. So I've been doing a couple of activities with a few of the T2 community members, and yeah, just I'm just here to help and have fun. So if anyone needs help, usually find me on Twitter. I tweet all the time. I'm working on a consistent schedule, so that's TBD. So I got a lot coming.
Hey, no doubt. And I will also make sure I put all this in the description so you guys can go follow these guys. They're amazing, and you're gonna love them and have a good time. And tell them that the Last City Radio sent you. And also, as you all know, P. Carlisle Gaming always in the house doing my thing, always promoting and shedding the light on all the big streamers, the little streamers, little small guys in the community are all about it, man. And you can always find me on Twitter at P Carlisle Gaming 2. So P Carlisle Gaming 2, you can always find me there. And of course, right here on the Twitch channel, P Carlisle Gaming. I'm trying to get back into, doing more streaming and stuff like that. We all know season is trying to kick up just slowly but surely. But hey, I'm definitely down to show you some variety gaming as well. So definitely check on here, man, and watch me play all the things gaming. So other than that, we got a definitely show on Monday with the all things gaming. We're gonna have a couple of special guests, so I'm gonna keep you updated on that. So other than that, I appreciate all of you guys for joining, and also for the people who only like to listen to audio, my majority guys, you already know I'm gonna have it posted an update on Sunday, so that way you guys can listen in to this wonderful show. And that being said, I appreciate all you guys, and I hope all of you guys have a wonderful Sunday morning. Laters.